Marvel Studios is in the early stages of completely overhauling and revamping what the Eternals brand is going to be. And according to all reports, Eternals 2 is very much real, but don't expect it to be anything like the first film. Most people I know that I am close friends with who keep up with the Marvel Studios projects all place the Eternals towards the bottom of their rankings, and I don't blame them. It's a film that didn't seem like an MCU film. It's a film that had a lot of great ideas, I'll be honest with you. I think that there's a lot in here that could have worked, but I think some of the execution obviously did not resonate with many people, and that's obviously up to you whether you agree with that or not. I know some people think that it's one of the best films. Some people like me, they're kind of like iffy on it. It's not the worst, but it's not right there in like the middle passable. It's kind of like towards the bottom, but I don't hate it. So it is something that's obviously been discussed a lot. A lot of people point at the Eternals and say, this is when I lost faith in the MCU. And I get it. You know, I'm not going to try to sway anybody's mind. I get it. This film, it wasn't all cracked up to be, especially with the reports that Marvel Studios thought they had like an Oscar film here. I think that really did them in. So with Eternals 2, still apparently in production, but getting a major overhaul, what we're hearing now is that they're looking to kind of like soft reboot / rebrand the Eternals. Now this is interesting because if you guys remember, prior to San Diego Comic-Con a couple of years ago, where Marvel Studios announced the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, there was 6 projects they did not announce, one of them being Celestial's End of Time. Now this was rumored to be a follow-up to the Eternals, but focusing more on the team composition being completely different, a new direction, and putting a bigger emphasis on the large threat that is the Celestials. Rumors also suggested that they would obviously bring back the character of Star Fox, aka the brother of Thanos, and that he would be central to it to kind of give us that connective tissue, and that they were kind of looking to partition up the Eternals, have some of them show up in other projects, while a new, I guess, Eternals team is, I guess, at the center of Celestial's End of Time. And this, while I know some people will hate it, I think it's what you got to do. If you just give us Eternals 2, and it looks the same, feels the same members of the team, you're carrying on the entire same storyline, people aren't going to show up. That's been made very clear. People do not like this film. But if you try to revitalize it, sort of reboot it, give it a new flavor, a new direction, new director, and we heard Chloe Zhao is out, this makes sense. And I'll point out to you why I think this is great, because it's worked in the MCU before. Look back at Avengers, right? What did we get before that? We got Captain America the First Avenger, which, criminally underrated in my opinion, was not liked by many people, and it didn't make a lot of money. But they soft rebooted it, put a new angle on it, and the Russo brothers delivered what many argue is the best MCU film. They took the second Thor film, completely went in a different direction with the next one, and that ended up winning as a formula. So doing that before it's too late with Eternals makes sense to me. So again, I just hope that they can kind of gauge what people want out of the MCU and understand that there's elements in Eternals that worked, but clearly the larger picture, the thing that alienated a lot of people, that needs to be addressed. But what that is, again, for different people, it's a different thing. To me, it was the lack of a serious villain. What was his name? Crow? I want to say it was Crow. Maybe it was Cross. Crawl? I don't... Oh my... See? What was the villain's name? No, I can't tell you, and I'm a fanboy of this franchise, so what does that mean for the average person, right? That's a problem.